Hey, how's it going everyone? What is up and welcome back to the channel and another MK11 discussion video. Before we get into it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also turn on notifications. Also like the video, it helps out the channel more than you could ever know. And don't forget to leave me a comment down below, let me know what you want me to talk about, whether it's topics, characters that could be coming, etc., whatever. I love doing suggestive videos, and also don't forget about the giveaway we have going on here, more at the end of the video about that. But let's go ahead and jump into this. So today we're going to be talking about something that we kind of went over in the new data mine leaks from the thingy a couple 4 days ago on our new leaks video to do with Kombat Pack 2 and 3 and some of the other game files that got leaked. But I wanted to specifically make a whole video talking about this and my thoughts on Fire God Liu Kang and KRONIKA possibly becoming playable characters in MK11, and I wanted to give you guys my opinion on it and whether I'd like to see it or not, and I'd really like to get your guys' opinion on it because I really don't know how I feel about it, but at the same time, I guess it could be an okay thing, but we'll get into it. So let's start out with KRONIKA as a playable character in MK11. Now the thing about it is the bosses have usually always became playable in MK games. I mean, first it was Shang Tsung, he became playable, then it was Shao Kahn, he became playable. Mostly every boss from MK has always became playable. Shinnok in MK11 or MKX. This is the only time where, except for his final form, this is the only time where a boss really has yet to become playable. I know it took at least a couple of games for Shao Kahn, and then at least a couple of games for Shang Tsung back in the day before they actually became playable. I don't remember if it... I think MK11 actually might be the first game that Shao Kahn was playable in. I'm not sure, I don't remember, but point is, he became a playable character. KRONIKA is really the only one that hasn't become playable. There was no talk about her becoming playable. There was really nobody wanting her to become playable. And I'm kind of stuck in the middle on it. Do we need another boss playable in MK in the MK series? Do we need the next big boss being KRONIKA playable in the MK series? I mean, we got Shinnok, we got Shao Kahn, we got Shang Tsung. Those have been mostly the big bags. You know, you had Onaga and some of the other ones from the 3D era, and I believe they were playable back then. But at the same time, when it comes down to it, they were always made playable because they were always interesting characters. Shinnok has been a presence in the MK universe since the 3D era, and maybe even a little bit before that, because he played such a big part. He was, you know, the ruler of... He was an elder god turned bad, and he became one of the main guys in the Nether Realm. He became a big part of Quan Chi's story and everything else, and they played him back into it in MKX. And when it came down to it, whether they did his character design wrong in MKX or not, he was still an interesting character. But at the same time, he wasn't the best. Shang Tsung, of course, became a playable character. He's a fan favorite in MK. He was the main villain in the first MK movie. And he became a very popular character, you know, a shape-shifting, transforming dude who could do a bunch of cool shit. That's pretty cool. Shao Kahn, of course, he's been one of the main stage villains for the longest time along with Shang Tsung, and a lot of people wanting to see him playable, and now he's playable. But when it comes to KRONIKA, I believe most people can agree when it comes to KRONIKA on this game, she is not a very interesting character whatsoever. Her favorite voice line in this damn game was "The New Era," and it drove me absolutely nuts. Her motives didn't seem all there. Her big bad villainy aspect didn't seem all there. All she really did was sit behind an hourglass and turn her hands a whole bunch and send a bunch of revenants after everybody. Yeah, she was annoying to fight against in the last battle of the character towers and everything else, but at the same time, she never really had an interesting, cool moveset that really pulled my attention in. Yeah, it seems like she has some stuff that Garrus already has. It seems like she has some setups and everything else. But at the same time, this is kind of like a boss that I would really not like to look at as a boss. I would have been completely fine if they didn't do Aftermath and just had Aftermath be the end of the game for MK11's base story, and kind of lead Shang Tsung into being the main villain again for MK11's story. Because KRONIKA just really wasn't that interesting. I think Cetrion was a lot more interesting than KRONIKA. Hell, I hate the Revenants, and I think Liu Kang's Revenant was still more interesting than KRONIKA. I would have rather had Raiden, evil Raiden from that timeline, be the main villain of the game over KRONIKA. She really just wasn't that interesting at all. So I really don't care to play as this character. I don't think they need to take up another slot that another MK character could be added for this boss. I just don't think that we really need her. I mean, maybe she could be like a pre-order bonus for MK12 and not take up a combat pack character slot, and I would be okay with that. I would be okay if she didn't take up a slot at all and she was brought into the game and she was just like an extra character. They were like, hey, here you go, you can just play as her now if you beat the game, like Frost. You know, if she didn't take up a main combat pack character slot, I would be cool with her. But then you move on to Fire God Liu Kang, and Fire God Liu Kang does look very, very interesting when it comes down to it. Fire God Liu Kang has a very interesting looking moveset. He's a very cool aesthetic character, but at the same time, we already have the skin for Fire God Liu Kang. So mainly what we would be getting is just the moveset. It would be his fire and thunder now powers mixed together. And what you do get to play of Fire God Liu Kang in the story, he does have a pretty cool, interesting moveset, but then that moves us into, well, NRS games having kind of what Dragon Ball FighterZ has of, okay, well, here's 4 different versions of Goku, 3 different versions of Vegeta, 2 different versions of Goku Black, 3 different Gohans, and a bunch of other shit, 2 different Brolys. I mean, it moves us into, do we really need so many different variations of the same character? I mean, even when it comes to the cyborgs and everything else, they were able to make a Triborg character and have 4 different variations of it, and them all play completely different. Yeah, all of the versions of Goku and Vegeta and Broly play completely different, but at the same time, it's still the same character with the same look, just different colored hair. And when it comes down to it, I'm not really on board with that, and they don't even go that far with Liu Kang. It's still the same character, just with different colored eyes and a lightning outline with some lightning moves. So I think I'm in the same spot for him as to where it comes to KRONIKA of just, if it doesn't take up an actual combat pack character slot, I'd be fine with it if it was just like a thing of, okay, well, here's Fire God Liu Kang and KRONIKA. If you beat the game, you can play as them. They're just 2 more characters that you get. No pre-order, no combat pack, no taking up slots for other characters. Here you go, you can play as them. I'd be cool with that, and I'd actually learn them at that point. But if they were added to a combat pack, if they took up 2 slots in the next combat pack 2, or even 1 slot apiece for combat pack 2 and combat pack 3, I would not be okay with that at all, man. They are just not interesting enough to justify paying money for. I mean, if I bought the game and it's like, okay, well, here's those 2 characters that were already in the game, and you can just play as them without spending more money on the game, I'd be cool with that, because I also got like 25 other characters, so, and that's just base game. But as far as DLC goes, man, that I have to pay for, I am just not on board with that. I feel like they would be better off just being added as like a, hey, here you go. But anyways, guys, that's my opinion on Liu Kang and KRONIKA becoming playable characters in MK11. If you don't gotta pay for them, okay. If you gotta pay for them, no buenas. But let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Let me know whether you want KRONIKA and Liu Kang as playable characters, whether you would be willing to pay for them or not. Let me know all of that in the comments down below. But let's talk about this giveaway real quick. So the giveaway we have going on right now is a Twitch giveaway. All you have to do to enter is subscribe here on YouTube, follow me on Twitch, and follow me on Twitter. That's all you gotta do. You can also get extra entries by retweeting every video that talks about this giveaway, which is about 5 or 6 at this point. I don't always share them to Twitter, so if you want to go the extra mile, you can share them to Twitter yourself and tag me in them, and that counts. But I also want to talk about my Patreon real quick. I do have a Patreon set up. Every dollar is going towards a new computer. There's options from $1 to $20 to support the channel. If you would like to support the channel and help keep the channel going, I would greatly appreciate it, and that's how you can do it. Link is in the description for that below. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. My name is Tootin, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.